Young Villa fan devastated as first game called off after 7,000-mile trip. A young Aston Villa fan who flew almost 7,000 miles to watch his first game in person was left devastated after the match was called off 2 hours before kickoff. Kaido Jones, 10, great-grandson of former Brighton and Hove Albion winger Fred Jones, had flown from Singapore to England with his mum to watch his beloved team. The boy's dad, Danny, says the youngster is a diehard fan and was eagerly awaiting his first visit to Villa Park, arriving at the stadium early to soak up the atmosphere. He was at a merchandise stand outside the ground when he heard the heartbreaking news the game was off due to several players testing positive for COVID-19. Kaido's dad was on a video call with his son when the news broke. Danny, 35, said. This was going to be Kaido's first match at Villa Park. He's flown back with his mum and was going to watch the game with his auntie Bex, my sister. He flew back on Thursday and came early to go to this game. My parents live in Hereford and he traveled up from there on Saturday morning to get lunch and go to Villa Park. He was on a video call with me and buying a scarf from a street stand, and a guy behind said for FK's sake the game has been called off. Kaido was absolutely devastated. The club issued a statement shortly after 12:30 p.m. on Saturday which said, Aston Villa can confirm that today's Premier League fixture with Burnley has been postponed due to an increased amount of positive COVID-19 test results within our playing squad. The results of PCR tests, which were taken yesterday prior to training as well as lateral flow tests, were received this morning and confirmed further depletion of our playing squad, which was already impacted upon for our trip to Norwich in midweek. All individuals who tested positive are now isolating in line with Premier League and government guidance and protocols. The club is extremely sorry for the inconvenience caused to Burnley Football Club, both our own supporters and the Burnley fans due to attend the fixture, but have acted as swiftly as possible this morning to minimize disruption. Kaido's dad explained his son had followed in his footsteps in supporting Aston Villa. Danny said. He was born in Singapore, but he's British and he's not been home for 2.5 years as Singapore has very strict travel restrictions due to COVID. The one thing he wanted to do was go and see a Villa game. My granddad was a professional footballer, Freddie Jones, who used to play for Brighton and Wales U23s. Kaido's name is Kaido Freddie Jones. We always loved football, me and my sister, and have been Aston Villa fans. I used to come up quite a lot. It was a luxury to come up and see them play. Kaido's baby clothes were Villa shirts. He's followed and watched them. The game is on at 11 p.m. here, but if he doesn't watch them live he'll watch them the next day. It's a hobby we do together. The travel was based around going to the game. And it was called off just before the kickoff. Kaido asked if he could go into the ground, but he wasn't allowed and had to console himself with seeing the outside of the stadium and a visit to the club shop. Danny, who has worked in executive search or headhunting in Singapore for 13 years, said, I was on a video call with him as he walked up Whitton Lane. I wanted to see his face when he saw Villa Park and his face lit up. And stayed on the call to the point he found out. He was speechless. He thought I was joking. He had a gloomy look in his eyes. The first thing he said was, will we get a refund? He then went to the club shop and bought 2 shirts, a football mug and a scarf. But it's a long way to go to buy a shirt. Kaido's story was posted on Twitter by the Aston Villa Singapore Lions Club, run by Jod Gill, who said, being from Singapore we totally get the health protocols, but we're so devastated for one of our youngest SG Villa Lions today. Today would have Kaido's first game at Villa Park and was the main reason he flew back 11,000 kilometers. He's completely heartbroken, and we are too. But Kaido and his dad were pleased the club and players had responded on Twitter. Danny said, we have already had a response from the club from Tommy Jordan, their communications director. He has also had a tweet off John McGinn, his favorite player who he has on all his shirts. And Emi Martinez. Tommy Jordan said, please DM me, and we will take a look at what we can do. While Emi Martinez responded with a crying face emoji and Kaido's favorite player, midfielder John McGinn, said, sorry to hear Kaido, once this all passes we will get you back over for a game mate. Kaido had to console himself with watching the new Spider-Man film at the Odeon in New Street before getting the train back to Hereford. He will be in the UK until December 30 and Villa are due to play Chelsea on Boxing Day, COVID permitting.